I'm a feminist, but... When I got on the plane from Australia to Auckland, I sat down, very pleased with myself. I'd booked a seat on the aisle, and a flight attendant came up and he went, "Really sorry, but could we move you 2 rows in front to the middle seat just to balance the weight of the plane?" And I genuinely said to him, "Seems a bit personal." And he said, no, it's not me, it's the ground staff. I was like, did they point me out? And he said, no, it's just a thing. The plane was nearly full. So, like, how could it affect it? And I just said, look, yes, of course, I'm a delight. Of course I'll move. But if this plane is going to be put off kilter by me being there, not here, in an otherwise pretty full plane, I was like, I don't really want to go on it because... And he said, look, I know, I can't really explain it. We don't really understand it. We just get told by the ground staff. And then the person next to me said, I'm actually crew. I'm just catching a lift. And she said, you handled that so well. She said, most passengers are horrible and they all, about that kind of thing. And they go, I've chosen our seat or whatever. And I said, well, I'm unbelievably lovely, so that's why. But I was thinking about it, and I was thinking it was a bit odd. So I texted Grace and told her what had happened. My friend Grace Petrie on tour with me, and she said, and she texted back and said, maybe it was the weight of your feminism. No, hold on, I said that. And she said, yes, I think there was a misogynist 2 rows back, and you need to balance it out by moving. So I choose to believe now the weight of my feminism is dangerous and could bring a plane out of the sky. Thank you.
I'm a feminist, but when my partner and I first started living together, instead of telling him I didn't really like to cook, I just did really shit cooking for a month until he said, no, that's okay, I'll do it now. So we had like a whole month of undercooked fish fingers and overcooked macaroni cheese every night until he gave in. I think eventually you kind of play to your strengths. Like now, we understand he really likes cooking, so he does the cooking, and I really like cleaning, so we've got a cleaner.
Listen, as long as he cooks and you pay for the cleaner, I don't see a problem.
No, we split the cleaner. I think that seems fair.
Listen.
I earn 12% less than he does. Fuck him.
You are just making up for thousands of years of patriarchy. And it's coming to you, baby. It's coming to you. You hold on to it tight and you don't let it go.
I'm absolutely doing that. You're welcome. Thank you. That's good.
I'm a feminist, but when I was on the plane over here from the UK, there was a sweet little girl who's probably about 6 years old, and we were on the plane with both legs of the journey. I was on the plane with her and her family and her parents, I assume, and then in the middle of the night she was running up and down the plane, and she was making loads of noise, and her parents were sort of indulgently running around after her, and I thought, I think she's a bit too empowered.
Yeah.
See,
sometimes it does go too far, doesn't it?
It can
bring back a bit of shame.
Look, this is a confessional section, okay? Feel free to judge Grace. I am. No, it's nighttime and it's a plane. I get it.
You're telling me?
Be annoyed. But in our hearts, we know the fact that girl will probably grow up to,
make her partner pay for half the cleaner.
Or start a necessary revolution. Yes, absolutely. So I'm a feminist, but backstage, I admitted in the dressing room, sometimes the green room gets a bit, racy. Don't mind telling you. And I admitted to the other people on the bill tonight, our guests and everyone, we were just chatting. I don't know how it came up. But I admitted that sometimes in my sexual fantasies, I make myself a bit stereotypically hotter. And there was some discussion of, but are you looking at yourself in your fantasies? And I was like, well, sometimes it's more I'm imagining how he's feeling about touching me, or, you know, what kind of bodies is Jacob Elordi used to? And we started talking about it, and then everyone sort of admitted, yeah, at times, of course, you make yourself a bit taller, younger, you know, change your body slightly in ways that you've been taught by the patriarchy to think are better or whatever. And it's, you know, it's your sexual fantasy, it's your night off. So, you know, while you shouldn't do that because you're retraining, but you sort of do a bit, you know, and we were all talking about it. And I said to them, you know what, I think I'm going to start a practice, like a meditative practice of starting off any sexual fantasy by imagining first Jacob Elordi talking to me, or similar, doesn't have to be him, but we were just talking about Saltburn and, you know, came up. And just imagining him just like telling me how much he loves my cellulite, how it turns him on, like stroking it, telling me he wants me to be his Mrs. Robinson, like stuff like that. And I imagined that. I said, I think that's what I should do to retrain my brain, to find myself more attractive. I think that's good. And then I said, I think I should start a public campaign called something like Be Yourself in Your Fantasy. And then I thought, genuinely, I got carried away in the dressing room. And then I looked around and I just thought, I think what other people are thinking is there are more important things for feminism right now than you spending an extra 10 minutes fantasizing about, like, hot boys off the telly saying how gorgeous your thighs are. And I feel the same vibe coming from you. And Auckland, I was hoping for more. You know, I was hoping for you to support me in this. Who would like to support me in a sort of 10 minutes... Yes. 10-minute fantasizing about some pin-up or other, someone you think about when you fantasize, just sort of adoring you just the way you are. You know what I mean? Yeah. He likes me just as I am. Did you kiss them because you were going to fantasize about each other? Get out. Have you brought the person you sexually fantasize about? I'm so touched by that, and I enjoy how little time you've been together.
Is it weird if I say I'm going to fantasize about you two fantasizing about each other? Is that... Okay.
Excellent. Interestingly, if I have a sexual fantasy about a woman, I don't change myself at all. It's only for a man. That's probably worse, isn't it? But that's because I think women are embracive of my body. And I suspect that men have a tick list. They don't actually. They don't give a fuck. They're just like thrilled to be seeing something. But in my head...
They're just happy to be out the house.
I'm pretty sure if Jacob Elordi was in the right mood and I was the only one there, he'd go for it.
Generally, I find they're just happy to be at home and not cooking. That is just... Oh, sorry, I got personal. Yay. I'm a feminist, but when I found out that a male comedian, I just wanted to be specific about what kind of comedian he was, because most comedians are women, but then there's male comedians. When I found out a male comedian had sent dick pics to every woman in our industry, my first thought was rage, but my second thought was, where the fuck is my dick pic? Like, ageist? What am I, chopped liver? I don't know.
An ageist predator.
Yeah. Exactly. The worst kind. Well, I don't know if that's the worst kind. We could discuss that further. There are probably worse kinds of predator than just the ones that don't like older ladies, but fuck them.
Grace, is it you?
I'm a feminist, but I will, in any situation that benefits me, allow people to mistake me for a teenage boy.
What would be a situation that would benefit you? What if you wanted to do just GCSE maths or something?
Everything I'm wearing is age 12 and it's a lot fucking cheaper, okay? And it happens a lot more than you'd think, particularly, during when we were all wearing masks. Once my girlfriend and I, we were going on a steam train, and and there was this very exciting moment where we were on the platform and the steam train was driven up the platform and it was turned around on a turntable, right? And this elderly gentleman on the platform turned to me and made very intense eye contact and said, "Choo, choo, choo." And I thought, he has mistaken me not for a male adult, but for a male child. What can you do? I just said, "Choo, choo, choo," back to him. What can you do? What can you do? We can't always be winning, can we, eh?
I don't really see how that benefits you unless they give you the child rate on the train.
I was riding as a kid until the age of 24, mate.
Are we ready to start the show? Then welcome to the Guilty Feminists here in Auckland, Aotearoa. Give it up for Grace Petrie and Michele A. Court, two women who you'll be seeing a lot more of tonight, along with our fabulous guests. It's so wonderful to be here. Very excited to be back. We haven't been for 2 years, and I like to come every year. So I'm very thrilled. Thank you so much for remembering who we are. Just give us a cheer if you listen to the podcast. Just give us a cheer if you don't know what you're at. Oh, a surprising number of people. Have you been brought by people, or you just saw it was on and thought that sounds like me? Just give us a cheer if someone brought you. Oh, I don't wish to impose gender upon you, but are you a man, sir? So, sorry, I shouldn't have said sir. That's imposing gender. Let's try it again. But are you a man? Yes. And is this your partner? Yes. Wife or girlfriend?
Yes.
Wife or girlfriend, yes. It's complicated. Girlfriend, yes, she's quick to say. Have you brought her here to propose? Was that the proposal? Because I think it could be more romantic than that. Wife or girlfriend, sure. What's your name? Shane. And what's your name? Alex. Yeah, Alex. And Shane, did you bring Alex or did Alex bring you?
I was told to book the tickets.
I'm going to go on a large limb here, Shane, and say Alex has sat you in the front row for a reason. She's hoping you will learn something. Does Alex listen to the podcast? I should ask Alex. It's a feminist show. Religiously. She listens to it religiously. And you've not once listened to it? No. You're here to educate yourself. Well, it's starting well. Yeah. That's what I've been told. I've been told to educate myself. This is going very well. You've been going out a lot longer than those two. Where are you? Oh, there, right. Probably not. How long have you two been going out? How long? A few months. A few months, of course. They're still fantasizing about each other. A few months. Did you honestly think it was longer than a few months? Some people going, oh, I imagine that could be 10 years. It isn't. It can't be for anyone. There are people, apparently. There are people, and they call them swans, that when they put you under an MRI machine, you still get the sexual fancying bit of the brain lights up. I don't think it's called the sexual fantasy bit of the brain. I'm no neuroscientist, clearly. But whatever bit that you get when you lust after a new person, that bit lights up still, along with the long-term attachment part of the brain and all those other bits that. But for most of us, when we've been in a relationship for a while, that first bit dies. It's limerence. It's called limerence when you're just in love with somebody for the first time. It's not just lust. It's just when you're addicted to somebody, you're like really in love with them, falling in love with them. That's called limerence. And that limerent part dies, but another part, the long-term attachment part of the brain, lights up, presumably evolutionarily so that you raise a child together or whatever. But very few people, they study them in labs. The limerence stays and the long-term attachment is there as well. And they are as in love as they were when they first met until they die, and that's why they call them swans. Isn't that wonderful? Just give us a cheer if you think you're a swan. You do. No, I talked about this before. You think you're a swan. How long have you been together? 10 years. And do you both think you're swans? Because I noticed only you cheered. Are you? I don't want to impose anything. Are you a heterosexual couple? Yeah. Okay. And what are your names? Alicia. Devon. Okay. That's my birth mother's name, who's also in. There's 2 Devons in the audience. What about that? Just give us a cheer if your name's Devon. I thought there might be more. But even my birth mother didn't cheer, so I don't know. Is that Emma, are you here? Oh, good, thank you. Yeah. I suddenly thought they hadn't come. I thought they're in Nando's. Okay, great. So, Devon, do you also believe yourself to be a swan? Yeah, it's awkward now not to say that you are, but yeah. That's so nice. That's so nice. So we found swans that you still feel as excited, but you're also holding someone else's hand, which is interesting. This is your best friend. Okay, great. Also kind of your wife. You're a feminist, and so she's like your feminist wife. Excellent. Listen. We are very positive, sex positive, whatever's going on. If this is, whatever this is, we love it. No, I know what you're saying. You're saying you're work wife type thing. Yeah, I get it. It's gone on a interesting, it's not what I normally ask people about. I found myself rather down a cul-de-sac. Anyone else think they're a swan? Anyone else think they're a swan? Yes? You think you're swans? But you again, only one hand. Is your partner with you? He's not with you. Why is your swan not with you at the feminist show, though?
He's not a guilty feminist swan.
He's not a guilty feminist swan. Then I don't believe in him. No, you're in love, but he's not necessarily up for feminist comedy.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, fair enough, but I would work on it, and I would question it. I don't want to put that into your head, but I have, so it's too late. Just give us a cheer. Give us a cheer if you think you've got a feminist job, or it doesn't have to be like a job of work where you get paid. It could be a voluntary position or some project you're working on. So give us a cheer if you think you've got a feminist job. That's pretty indicative of my audiences. I've said it before, but it is true that my audience tend to fall into 3 groups. One is someone working in a kind of helping close the pay gap role or something like that. Then more sort of overarching societal things like they're working in healthcare or working with refugees, working in literacy. And then the 3rd group is people doing PhDs about Virginia Woolf. And is there anyone here doing a PhD about Virginia Woolf? Give us a cheer. No? Anyone here doing a PhD, though? Yeah, there's always quite a lot of PhDs. Just give us a cheer, PhDs again. Or if you've got a PhD. Oh, yeah, loads. There's always, way overrepresented. Jimmy Carr could be playing a stadium, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if there's one PhD in there, they leave in the interval because they didn't realise what they were at. What's your PhD in? Yes. Is your PhDs in you? It's very niche. They're always niche. Media literacy and gender identity, I told you. Anybody else? What's your PhD in? Either done or being done? Anyone else? Yes? Oh, Alex! Yes, go on.
Full title or summary?
The full title or a summary? I'm going to give you the mic.
Sorry. Okay. Full title. Graduated last Tuesday. bioinformatics pipeline development for the analyses of data generated by target capture-based next-generation sequencing for the characterization of mutations and the utility of using off-target sequences to detect genomic imbalances in multiple myeloma patients. They're all human. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations, Dr. Alex. What does that mean you will actually do, though, Alex? Like, I mean, I understood it, but I just feel like some of the audience might not have. And they might just be wondering. So for the layperson, what will you actually do with that PhD?
I'm looking for a change out of research into more like medical writing and stuff, but if I continue into like postdoctoral research, it'd be like understanding better what causes the cancer so that we can have personalised treatments to target like the genetics behind them rather than just generically.
I'm actually hoping you don't get a job in journalism so you cure cancer, because it sounds very much like you're currently curing cancer. Is that what you're doing? Contributing, that's what a woman says. A man says, I've got it sorted. Give me 5 years and a grant for $500,000. That's what a man says. A woman goes, I'm making a little contribution. What do you do, Sam? Are you curing cancer as well? Because they might have met in a curing cancer context.
Military and defence.
Okay, don't turn. I'm sure he's got a good reason. Have you?
Mostly space stuff. I told you not to say the military.
She said, if you didn't hear that, she said, say the space stuff. I told you not to say the military stuff. Wow. What are you doing in space? Contributing. Okay, so I think we found the most feminist and the least feminist person in the audience. Normally I search around, who's got an unfeminist job? Oh, I work for a bank, but I do Trojan horse feminist within, ha 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 ha. I've literally just in the front row happened upon the woman who's curing cancer and her boyfriend, she was keen to say not husband, and we don't really want to delve in what he does. But whatever he does in space, I feel it's not good. Right. We should really get on with the rest of the show. But I normally let someone plug something that they need help with in Auckland. Has anyone got a feminist project you need help with? No one's doing anything. Okay. Anyone doing anything at all where you go, oh, we could use some money or volunteers or, a profile, click on our thing? Anyone doing anything? Yes? Right in the front row. God, this is a really fruitful front row.
Hi, I'm CEO of a tech charity, and we're in Raglan, which is Whangaroa, which is only an hour and a bit out of town, but we want to host your corporate conference there, and all the money that you pay to host your corporate conference there covers school camps for kids that can't afford school camps.
We love that. So just give us a cheer if you've got a corporate job. Excellent. Well, that's where you're having your next conference/away day. What's it called? The Institute of Awesome. That's an easy one to remember. Note it down in the notes on your phone or email the person in your HR who does that kind of thing, or events, whoever that does that kind of thing, and to say, could you please, if you're booking anything at all, look for the Institute of Awesome, because we want to send kids who are disenfranchised, might not have an opportunity to get into tech. And you know who those kids are. They are often kids who are left out of all mainstream norms, ways, support systems. Oh, isn't Toby's best man in tech? Can't he have a word with little Sebastian? That's how middle-class kids get stuff, and how other kids get stuff who might not have those contacts. Institute of Awesome. Excellent. Thank you so much for the Institute of Awesome. Hello, Guilty Feminists. This is Deborah. I am actually in my hotel room here in Australia, where I'm still on tour. If you are in Brisbane or Canberra, you're still just about in time to get tickets. If you have been with us out at the live shows in Aotearoa or in Perth, Adelaide, Sydney or Melbourne, oh my God, you have been the absolute best audiences ever. So excited. So please quickly pop along to Brisbane or Canberra if you can. Some great guests and co-hosts lined up for you. If you're in London, please don't worry, we have not forgotten you. We'll be back at our usual home of King's Place on the 12th of June and 15th of July. On the 12th of June, I will be sitting down with the multi-talented Sophie Willan from Alma's Not Normal. She's bringing out a new series. It's going to be very exciting. We've also got some other great guests. And on the 15th of July, there will be some amazing Edinburgh Festival sneak previews from some of the funniest comedians in the country. Yes, the Edinburgh Fringe is coming, and we will be recording 3 episodes in Edinburgh on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th of August at the Gilded Balloon at the museum, which is a beautiful venue. We'd love to see you at any or all of these recordings. Remember, in London, if you can't get to Edinburgh, you can come to our show on the 15th of July and see some of the Edinburgh acts ahead of time. We'd love to see you at any or all of these recordings. For more information and for tickets, go to guiltyfeminist.com and click on live shows. You can support the podcast to get ad-free episodes by going to patreon.com/guiltyfeminist or via Apple Podcasts. And if you feel like leaving us a 5-star review for this or any episode, that would really help other people find the podcast, and it would also make my day. And now back to the podcast.
All right. We need to get on with the meat and potatoes of our podcast, so please welcome back to the stage my incredible co-pilot for this evening, the one, the only Michele Court.
Wow, that was quite exciting.
Wasn't it?
You
Thrilling.
also have a lot of PhDs in your audience.
I do. I've only discovered this. I was doing a stand-up show in London, and I just sort of was messing about one night and discovered this. Do you know what I find something interesting? All German people are doing a PhD. And it's
the whole country, everybody in the country.
It seems more than a trend. And whenever I've said that in an audience, there's always a German person doing a PhD or has done a PhD. It's really normal there.
That is fantastic. I love that. I want an honorary doctorate, just so I'd love to be a doctor, but not actually do any work.
I got offered one, and then I
you?
couldn't make the date work to go. And I don't know if now it's got a bit late, because I can't really ring up and go, are you still offering?
Does a doctorate have a use-by date? Do you have to get there before?
It just felt a bit like, I don't know, the people who wanted me to do it may have moved on, or I don't know. It just feels a bit wrong to ring a university and go, can I have an honorary doctorate? Remember that time you said I could? Do you see what I mean? I'd rather wait. Listen, if you're listening and you run one of those honorary doctorate programs, I'm on for it.
Okay.
And you are too.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
So if you're listening and you're thinking, we're looking for people to give honorary doctorates too, Michele and I will turn up on the same day. We will double act the fuck out of that.
Yeah, we will.
And we will give our own commencement speech.
Totally. You've got the gown. This is good. You could wear that as an academic gown.
I don't feel that they're going to want a gold sequined Guilty Feminist cape with pom-poms on.
They just don't know they want it.
They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. Any Germans in doing a PhD? I'd be amazed. You are German, Alex. Yeah. I'm not wrong. Once you get an audience this size... Because I was finding, I had an audience of, it was just like I was doing developing a stand-up show, so it was like 200 seats, and I had PhDs in every night, like a chunky
I love that you have brainy people coming to your show.
I know. I honestly think, I've said it before, but I think we could just lock the doors here for 48 hours and solve a good quarter of the world's problems.
Yeah, I think that's...
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously, this is what's not happening. I mean, I couldn't, but I feel like I've got people who...
You've got the pull. You attract them. That's how that works.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'd have to ask Sam to leave, but...
Yeah. Is that Sam? Sam
because he'd take it all back to the defence people.
Is he the spy? He's a very bad spy.
But I feel like in New Zealand you don't really do bad defence, do you?
We don't do any at all.
So I feel like there are some countries where I'd be genuinely like, oh God. But I think here, what do you really do, Sam, to be honest?
He just tells people, well, mostly our thing is just pretend we don't exist, or that we're maybe a small part of Australia. I'm right, aren't I, Sam?
Yeah, it's a nice country for that. It's like, I don't want you to be doing bad defence. I think it's a nice country that you're not making any bad moves. Yeah. You're probably not allowed to say anything, are you, Sam? Because it's all highly confidential. Were you even meant to say that you work in defence? Aren't you like James Bond? Like, should you be even saying it? You're a terrible spy.
Dreadful.
You've done good stuff too. Like, what good stuff, Sam? Part of the Mars rover.
Is that a chocolate bar? I don't...
Is that people going to Mars to see if it's habitable up there and if there's any life up there? Yeah, so you're part of the Mars rover. Well, that would have been better to say. I'm a space scientist.
That's what Alex wanted him to say.
Yeah. Alex was like, I've brought you, I'm curing cancer, you're going to space and making sure... Although I do think going to space to check that we could just about breathe on Mars under in a vault... which is fucking Elon Musk's solution to fucking the Earth up. Why don't we just not fuck the Earth up? And one of the ways we could not fuck the Earth up is not sending rockets to fucking Mars. This is my suggestion.
This is why...
I don't think I'm wrong about that.
You should have a PhD. That's why, because that was genius.
That's my dissertation right there. Where's my honorary PhD? That's all I'm asking.
Alex could turn and think of a really fancy title for that. Takes half an hour to...
If you, in the interval, could come up with a title, a really, really long title for that idea, don't go to space because you're causing the Earth to be ruined.
In which case we don't need to go to space.
But it'll be like 40 words long and no one will understand any of the words. I would love that. We will come to you. You two together could definitely do that in the interval as a fun interval project. Assuming neither of you wish to drink. And I think both of you are going to need a drink. Oh, you've already got a drink, Alex, have you? Yeah, okay. Well done. I wish I did. Can I ask you, how are you feeling overall? Would you say that you are more guilty or more feminist?
I'm feeling a little bit feminist this week. My lovely husband had his appendix out on Sunday. I didn't do it. And so he has no core strength now that he is at home. And so I have been doing all the things, and I've quite enjoyed going, no, I'll be fine. So I have been bringing in loads of firewood. I know. I'm fancying myself a little bit now. And taking out the big gardening, the organic waste thing. We've got a mess. I just feel a bit... But also, the thing that I've quite loved about it is that because he has no core strength and he can't move, he can't pick anything up, and I am quite close to the ground, and I find that easy. So it's been a delight. He keeps going, and I go, no, allow me, sweep. It's really...
So is it like he's Elizabeth I and you're Sir Walter Raleigh?
A little bit like that.
So you put your coat down in the mud for him?
I am doing that.
And he drops a handkerchief gently and you go and pick it up?
And he gets
so is it like
vapors.
A gender reversal old-fashioned courtship?
Yeah, a little bit like that, except when he does move, he's like a very pregnant person, and that kind of takes the Walter Raleigh-ness out of my... I don't know how that works, but I watch him getting off the couch and it just takes me back to being pregnant 30. He's like this. It's hilarious, and that's terrific mime to put on a podcast.
Yeah. If you were listening at home, Michele just struggled off the sofa onto the floor in a way that would make Chaplin jealous.
Yeah, very much so.
But you'll never see it, never. And that's why you should come out to the live show. Excellent. All right. Are you ready for some stand-up comedy? Yeah. Then please welcome to the stage the incredible Michele Acorn.
I know. I'm just going to do that for the rest of my life. No, I want to find out where my people are. Where are my people tonight? Menopausal ladies, make some noise. I love us. What I'm going to do, half-time, menopausal ladies and perimenopausal, please do come. We'll pop outside. We'll take our cardies off, put them back on, probably take them off again. Talk about who we'd like to kill. That's where you get to, isn't it? I love that. Estrogen, you see, is the hormone, Sam, that makes you want people to like you, and we've got no fucking estrogen left. Oh, God, I love it. I love it that we're talking about menopause and perimenopause now, because for a little while that was kind of the last taboo, right? And, of course, if you tell me that I'm not allowed to talk about a thing, I will talk about a thing, which is great. So they said, don't talk about the menopause, and that was like a red rag to a bull. And I appreciate that's an inappropriate metaphor in this particular scenario. One of the things I really like about it is that you can wear white pants any day you like with absolute confidence. But also you're old enough to know that white pants are a fucking terrible idea. Don't do that. Unless you play cricket or you're in the Navy or doing mime, but don't do that on a podcast, so... It's a delight. See, now, my theory is the patriarchy doesn't want us to value getting older, so I just love getting older. This is I'm middle-aged. I'm not sure I'm going to make it to 124. This may not be the middle. Fucking love it, though. I do. I love this bit. I mean, it's possible there'll be a later bit that I like even more. Might turn out I'm really into jigsaw puzzles and soft food. But this bit is truly awesome. I think something happens to women as we age. I think we grow into ourselves, yeah? We start to become the person that we were always supposed to be. We start to feel really good about who we are, our place in the world, the contribution that we've made to our community. We even start to feel quite good about how we look, which is ironic because around about the time we start to feel quite good about how we look, we actually start looking quite fucking shit. We don't care though, do we? No, we don't. On the inside, this is the good bit, on the inside, we think we're 18, yeah? We do, don't we? All of us, we think we're 18. I think I'm bloody stilettos and margaritas. And then I tell you how old I am, and you say, fuck off, old lady, you're Metamucil and orthopaedic shoes. Go home and knit for your grandchildren. There are a couple of bits that are quite tricky about getting older. Like, one of them for me is that, doing a gig like this, and I'm going to stand on the lights, you're going to look at me, and, I don't want to spend the whole night looking like a certain way, and you're going to say to me, oh, are you not well? And... so I kind of try to flossy myself up. There's this really scary moment where you step out of the shower in the hotel bathroom and there's a fluorescent light over the mirror because a fucking man designed it. And you look in the mirror, you got no makeup on, obviously your hair's wet, and you go, ooh. This'll be a project. But you push on through, don't you, ladies? Because you don't want to scare the horses. There are a couple of things that happen that no one warns you about, and I think really it's, behoving of women of a certain age, such as myself, to pass this on to you lovely young women. So I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you here, just behind Alex and Sam. What's your name? Rebecca is beautiful. She's like 12. And Rebecca has perfect skin. You have perfect skin. Look at that. There's not a wrinkle on there. I know. You're beautiful. You are. You're stunning. I mean, hair is probably your natural colour. No idea. Just delightful. And the saying, was it Rebecca? I have very short-term memory difficulties because I'm really fucking old. Rebecca, the thing is, even under these lights, I'm looking at you and I can see in your eyes, I'm looking into your eyes now, and I can see just glinting in there your hopes and dreams for the future, Rebecca. All of that will fade. This is your future. Good luck. So a couple of things that happen that nobody warns you about. One is you'll lose the colour from your cheeks, yeah? And your eyebrows fucking disappear. I don't know where they go, Rebecca. Possibly into men's ears. I don't understand the science of that. It's just an observation I've made. You'll be out somewhere, you'll see a nice straight couple, you look at her, you go, where the fuck are your eyebrows? And you look across at him and you go, oh, fuck, there they are. I've thought about this a lot. I've thought about this more than anybody should really think about it. My theory is that this is why a couple of generations ago, do you remember our grandparents used to, at middle age, move into twin beds? Yeah? That's not because they didn't want to touch each other. They just wanted the eyebrow to have further to travel. Because eyebrows are nocturnal, yeah? They move at night. I think you don't even need a fucking PhD to know that. So if you're in a double bed, right, the eyebrows just wait for Nana and Pops to fall asleep and the eyebrow just goes... But if they're in twin beds, picture it, the eyebrow's got to go to the edge of one of those beds and down a whole bed, across the floor, which may or may not be carpeted, we don't know. I'm miming this for the people who are listening to the podcast. It's going really well. Up the other bed, may or may not be a valance there, we don't know, into the air. And if your Nana was smart, do you remember she used to leave a pair of slippers in between the two beds in the hope that she'd wake up to fluffy slippers instead of fluffy grandpa ears? Thank you for coming with me on my story. The thing I want to, before I go, Rebecca, the thing I want to make really clear is that middle-aged people don't move into twin beds at middle age because they don't want to touch each other. Because I tell you a little secret about middle-aged people, we're fucking horny, aren't we? We're at it all the time. Rebecca, you know when you're in a room and there are no middle-aged people in that room, do you know why they're not there? They are fucking. We're good at it too. We've been doing it for a long time, haven't we? We are highly skilled. Also, we've been doing it for a long time, so we're doing some weird shit to keep it interesting. We're doing some shit so weird, Rebecca, you haven't even seen it in the porn. It's important, I think, that young people understand this. It's a life lesson, because I think, you know, when you're young, you start having the sex, as I like to call it, because that makes it hot. Start having the sex, you think you're better at it than anyone's ever been, ever before. You've kind of invented it. You haven't, but you think you go, no one's done it like me. I just want all of you young people, Rebecca, anybody young in the room tonight, just bear this in mind. Next time you're doing the sex, just bear in mind that probably at that exact moment, your mum and dad are doing it better. That's my time. I'm Michele. See you soon.
Michele Court, everybody. Michele Court. Give it up. She's fantastic, isn't she? This is my first tour in Aotearoa without Cal Wilson. Which is so sad. And we started in Christchurch, which is her hometown, and we only found out at the end of the show, we talked about her a lot, and we only found out at the end of the show that the theatre we were using there is attached to her high school, and it felt like she was with us all night. And I just want to do a shout out to Cal and everybody who loved her, because she's very much with us on the tour. My husband gave me a locket with our faces in it that I'm wearing, and her husband Chris gave me this peg, which is, I don't know if anyone remembers, but Cal once did an I'm a feminist, but my side quest is for the perfect clothes peg. And then after that, people would come to the shows with pegs for her, saying this is the best peg, and this is the one she decided was the best peg. And it's on my clipboard for the whole tour. So I just wanted to say, we're thinking of her, and I was so thrilled when Michele said she could do it, because she was actually on the way to give Cal's parents a special book from other comedians in New Zealand. So it was really special that she said, I got the call on the way and I thought this was Cal passing the baton. And it has been really well. I didn't know Michele, and I tried to have her on once, but her daughter decided to give birth that night. Selfish. And so we didn't have her on, and then the cards fell as they did, and we never had her, so I didn't know her, but I just trusted she'd be the right person, and she really, really is, because she loved Cal so much, and we feel such a massive connection through Cal, and she's got a very Cal energy, so it's just wonderful. This is only my second show without Cal, and Michele's been there both times, and already I feel like I've known Michele for years. So could you just give it up one more time for Michele? We've got a very special guest for you now. She is a poet, and she's going to perform some of her poetry for you tonight.
Her messages of love, healing, and female empowerment have resonated with her readers, making her a popular Instagram poet. Millions of people around the world have shared her signature black and white quotes. In 2020, she published the Her Story Project, a compilation of poems inspired by the stories of real women. She is the founder of the Inspirational Women Awards, an event to elevate and celebrate women while raising funds and awareness around domestic violence. She's going to read you some of the poems tonight that were inspired by real women's stories. They sent them to her on Instagram and she wrote poems in return. Please put your hands together and make incredible, welcoming, guilty feminist noises for Julia Střelou.
So, as Deborah said, these poems I'm going to read tonight were written by me, but they were inspired by the stories of real women from Aotearoa and around the world who were brave enough to share their stories with me and allow me to turn them into poems. You tell me that I am not as pretty as your ex-girlfriend. You throw me against the pantry as you use one hand to clasp my neck. You run the other hand over my body, places I did not give you permission to touch. You probably thought I'd forgive you. You probably thought I'd stay. After all, you did your best to break me, so you probably thought I'd just forget this day. But what you didn't account for is the fact that I was strong. You're probably wondering where I am now. You're probably wishing that you never did me wrong. I'm sure you're probably dreaming that I reopen my heart and give you the key. And you're probably sitting there regretting ever underestimating me. Thank you. So I'm going to read 3 tonight, and this is the second one. That one I just read was a woman from Aotearoa. You were supposed to be a role model. That's what teachers are to school children, right? Of course I looked up to you. You were the one who taught us how to read and write. You taught us how to dream. I thought of the things that you had taught me as I lay naked in your bed that first night. I listened to your voice in the darkness as your teachings began to change. Where once you had told me about literature, now you pointed out my flaws. You told me I was worthless. You told me I was fat. You asked if I could wear shorter skirts because you would really like that. It took me a long time to realize, but at least you taught me one thing, that the teachings I learned for myself are more important than any teachings. And this final one is from another New Zealand woman. Dear broken girl, you are so young to have been through so much pain, but I want you to take those pieces and rebuild yourself again. I know it won't be easy. I know it will be a long road, but I want you to take everything they shattered and use it to build a throne. Build yourself a throne and a kingdom and a crown and a terrace so high you have to look down. And when he comes knocking, crawling, begging at your door, I want you to tell him that he is not allowed in your kingdom anymore. Thank you. Thank you.
Julia Střelou, everybody. Thank you, Julia. So, I have brought a guest all the way. She's really more of a colleague. She's really more of somebody who, if I don't bring her with me, half of you wouldn't come probably. She's a main attraction, let's put it that way. I absolutely love working with her. I love touring with her. She's one of my absolutely favourite people, and it's the only way I can get her to spend time with me. Please put your hands together and make incredible woohooing noises all the way from Leicester in the United Kingdom. Leicester legend, Grace Petrie!
How are you guys doing? It's lovely to be back here. Give me a shout if you've seen me before. Crikey. Give me a shout if it's your first time seeing me. Oh, wow. A lot happier than the ones that have. Try not to take that too personally. If you haven't seen me before, I'm a protest singer. That's what I do. I write left-wing protest songs. And I've been doing that for about 14 years. Basically what would happen is we have had in the United Kingdom this terrible succession of prime ministers. I'd write all these songs about them. And I never used to be able to sing them here because I thought they won't understand that. So this one's for you guys. I wrote this song, it's on my most recent album, and I wrote this song after I read that Boris Johnson, our erstwhile Prime Minister in the UK, I read that in the month after he left office in disgrace, he made £1 million from after-dinner speeches alone. And I read that and I thought, it really is fucking rigged, isn't it? The whole system. So I wrote a song about it, and it's called The House Always Wins. It goes like this. First thing they teach at Eton is to recognise a mark. They don't come no easier than desperate in the dark. Little smoke and mirrors, boys, you've got them on the hook. Blaming other folks for what you took. Biggest comment came when we were looking down a hill. A land of milk and honey, boys, an oven-ready deal. And every single architect is richer since we left. Our workers and our industries bereft. But when the dinghy's got you tied up in knots, you don't worry about the super yachts. Roll up, and place your bets. You get the same chance everybody gets. Yeah, from the first day of your life, you are born into this gunfight with a knife. 'Cause the dice is always loaded, the coins all wear two grins. The devil pays the dealer for a multitude of sins. But whichever way the roulette wheel spins, the house always wins. Well, watch out for the commie's voice, so let's send in the clown. The razzle-dazzle bulldog, no, he's never let us down. The showman of the circus, but what lies beneath the mask? Ain't it funny, no one ever thought to ask? When the game is up and every golden goose bled dry, there's columns, books and panel shows and no one bats an eye. The quick wash reputation, laundry spotless every time. Ain't it funny, no one ever draws the lines. Remember I got news for you, to the after dinner scene. Taking home $1 million between. Roll up, and place your bets. You get the same chance everybody gets. Yeah, from the first day of your life, you are born into this gunfight with a knife. 'Cause the dice is always loaded, the coins all wear two grins. The devil pays the dealer for a multitude of sins. But whichever way the roulette wheel spins, the house always wins. The house always wins. Yes, so when you've cast your chips in, well, I wouldn't hang around. 'Cause out there on the streets, these folks are making a new sound. They're waking up to how they always seem to come out down. And they might just burn this damn casino to the ground. Whoa, whoa.
get the same chance everybody gets. Yeah, from the first day of your life, you are born into this gunfight with a knife. Because the dice is always loaded, the coins all wear two grins. The devil pays the dealer for a multitude of sins. But whichever way the roulette wheel spins, the house always wins. The house always wins. The house always wins. The house always wins. Oh yeah, the house always, always wins. Thank you. Have a great interval. We're going to see after the break.
So that was the first half. Join us for part 2, which should be in your feed right now.